I think we're live.
We're live?
I think we're live, yeah.
Is that I'm trying to play the Jonathan Yang thing now, like, are we on? Are we live?
Hard to say. I'm getting good signals.
All right, well.
I think it's happening.
It's happening, okay. Well, welcome all to Renegade Con Special Edition. We're so happy that you're all here. We're happy to be here ourselves. We have so much to talk about in the next 60 minutes. And I've already pre-approved everything with Sara Erickson, so she won't be shutting off any mics or cameras or anything like that. And even if she tried, it's not within her control. So we're all good. We're ready to go. But before we get started and talk about all the new upcoming releases across Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, role-playing games, deck building games, Heroes of the Grid, all sorts of stuff, Sara wants to give you an update on what's going on with our new e-commerce sites and all that good stuff. And we've seen lots of questions, so let's just get that out of the way right now, real quick. Sara, tell them all the stuff.
So we worked hard this last year to get a new website up and running that has a few really cool bonuses for anybody who does place orders this weekend for all of this amazing, cool new stuff that we're going to show you in just a few minutes. And one of those things is that we now have a rewards point system, which is something we never had before. So every time you buy stuff on our store, you get points. And if you have enough points, you can redeem those for coupons and get some dollars off your next order. So there's also other ways you can get points. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. Basically, if you have a birthday, most of you probably have a birthday, I would assume, you can get points for that. So there's lots of ways to get points. All you have to do is just go to our new website, renegadegames.com. and sign up. You'll see a little button in the lower left-hand corner after you make an account, sign on, and then you can do that. So we're really excited to be able to offer that. So please take advantage of it. Let us know if you have any questions or concerns at all. And if you are one of our wonderful international fans, you've probably been wondering, how do you participate? How do you order things off our fancy brand new website? We've been telling you it's close, and it is really, really, really close now. We're just about to launch our new European and UK websites, and we do have some exclusives that we have put together that are going to be just for Renegade this weekend. If you see some of those things pop up and you see that they're going to be Renegade exclusive, and you know that you have to get them from our web store, we're going to make sure that those are available before that ships. So before those are ready to go out to anybody, we'll make sure our new websites are up and running. We are getting pretty close, and we're going to actually save some copies of those wonderful themes just for our European store. Our Australian customers, for our Canadian customers, we'll have special allocations. Make sure that we don't run out before you get a chance to buy them. So don't stress. It'll be fine, and keep watching. Sign up for our newsletter. As soon as everything's ready to go with those sites, we'll be announcing it there. So don't fret, it's coming very soon. Right. And for everybody in the US, you can order things this weekend. We're actually going to be putting all of the stuff that we're talking about that's ready to go and ready to be sold will be ready during this panel. So
wow,
hold tight. It's exciting. Yeah.
Wow. All right. We're on top of it.
Good.
Okay. All right, so there's an update on the web stores. Don't worry. Like everybody knows, even when we do exclusives and things like that, we continue to make those things available in the future. We don't want them to be too hard to get. We want people to be able to get them that want them. So let's jump in. Let's start with Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid. Give us a quick little update and recap. So most recently, we had Rangers United, the big box set featuring Beast Morphers and Omega Rangers. And Dino Thunder, the Allies pack number 2, and the Villain pack number 4. So what's going on with those? We've already run our campaign. People have pre-ordered them. They're waiting for them. We'll show them the packaging and everything in a minute, I think. But let's tell them what's going on with those things and when they can expect them.
Yes, so if you were one of the wonderful people who joined us for our Kickstarter campaign, well, first, you got a whole bunch of extra goodies, promo packs, all sorts of fun things because you were part of our Kickstarter, and those are all getting on boats now. One little caveat, I'm sure we won't be the first people to mention that shipping and logistics is extra challenging this year, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So we really appreciate all of your patience as we try and get these to you as fast as possible. But they are all in boats. They're going through the system. We just have to wait. In fact, that's the name of the panel. Just wait.
That's right.
And they will get to you as soon as possible. We're really thinking it's going to be September, October-ish, but we've seen crazy stuff. I mean, we've had containers sitting miles away from our warehouse and been stuck there for a month. So we don't really know, but we will keep you as informed as possible. Watch your Kickstarter updates. We'll make sure all the information is there so that you never have to wonder what's going on with your Kickstarter stuff. If you didn't jump in on the Kickstarter, you're going to support your friendly local game store by ordering from them. It's the same deal. All of that stuff is just kind of together, and it's coming really soon. And we will get that to friendly local retail stores as quickly as possible. So yeah, that's kind of where the world is at, not just games.
Yeah, that's true. Everything's kind of stuck with these situations. Like, it's a true story. We've literally had containers sitting 3-hour truck drive from our warehouse that's taken a month to get to our warehouse, and we're not alone. It's just not us. It's just the way things are. We just have to deal with it. But let's show them the box, Chris. You can go to, let's see that Rangers United box, just in case anybody has not seen this yet. That's the next big box expansion with Beast Morphers and Omega Rangers. You know, again, big box expansion. You need the core game to play with all of this stuff, but that's on its way very, very soon. And then the next one let's show them is Dino Thunder. So that's the Dino Thunder pack with the team pack, plus Evil Dino Thunder White. And then the next thing we'll show them is the Allies pack number 2. So this is a cast of new playable characters. All the allies have unique gameplay and their own Zords, just like you've come to expect in all of these types of packs in the past. And then last but not least, Villain pack number 4, villains from Dino Thunder and in space. So this is not the new news, but this is an update on old news. It's coming right around the corner. But now let's start talking about what's coming next. What have people been waiting for? Things that they've never heard before. So Sarah, I have a question for you. Have you been naughty or have you been nice?
That's a very good question. I think I've probably been more naughty than nice this year, but we'll find out. Because our next reveal is something we really haven't talked about at all yet, have we?
No, it's a total surprise, totally new.
And it's coming really quickly. This is actually also on a boat.
Yeah, so it's coming this year. It's kind of a surprise release on not short notice, but we held this back for good reason because nobody likes their presents spoiled.
That's right.
So,
and
yeah. Let's show it to him. There we go.
Hey.
So Santaverse Heximus Holiday Pack will be a web store exclusive up on the Renegade site, and it brings your favorite hero to the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid game, Santa Claus. Now you can have Santa Claus be a member of your team and fight the evil Heximus, the dastardly, crazy villain that looks like an amalgamation of if Christmas was made in the underworld. Presents have come to life and they want to kill you. So there you go.
I love this. It's so wonderful. It's just hilarious to me that this is something that's existed in the Power Rangers universe and that we get to do it. It's super fun.
Yeah, this came about in a bunch of brainstorming. We said, what could we do that would be a fun holiday release? And I think Jonathan Ying was like, well, you know, Santa Claus has appeared in Power Rangers a bunch of times. And I'm like, no way, man, that seems ridiculous. And he's like, no, it's true. It's true. So there you go. Santaverse Heximus will be available for pre-order now, probably as we speak. It is available, and it will deliver, hopefully, in time before the holiday season, so you can have some fun-themed games on your tabletop while you're celebrating those holidays. Okay.
And again, if you are one of our international customers, hopefully you were on Santa's nice list, and this is already kind of on the way to your general region. So it should be easy enough to get before the holidays for you as well. We hope.
Right.
No promises this year.
Right. We already put aside stock. We're shipping them to those warehouses in other places around the world. So they will be available when those new stores launch. So that way you'll be able to get them in a timely manner as well. So we're working on it. Top people are working on it.
That's right.
All right. Let's talk about what's coming up next year. Heroes of the Grid for next year.
So we are actually going to be doing a pre-order campaign for these not too long. So definitely, again, watch our Power Rangers Facebook group. If you're not in the Power Rangers Tabletop Gaming Facebook group yet, please go check that out. It's a wonderful place, and lots of fun people who I'm sure you will get along with are going to be there. And that's a great place to find out about Power Rangers news. So when we are ready to actually announce the pre-orders for these and get those set up, that's where you're going to find out about them.
Yep. So sit tight, but let's show them the first thing. What's the first thing coming in? Time Force Rangers.
Rangers pack.
That's right. What's in there? Sara, tell us. I'm going to start letting Sara do some spoilers. That way it softens her up and she becomes more addicted to the rush of telling people good things instead of telling people that they can't know anything good.
I see. You're giving me addicted. Got it. So surprise, you're gonna find the Time Force Rangers in this pack.
Wow.
But you will, I know, right? But you'll also find the Quantum Ranger and a Time Force Megazord token. So just like our other Ranger packs, this is gonna focus on that team, give you all new characters, new sculpts, new abilities, and all sorts of other silly things that Jonathan Yane has decided to throw in there. But yeah, I'm excited for the Time Force Megazord token. That'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, that'll be nice. But that's not all. Yeah. What else will be part of this wave? Let's show them the next thing. The Merciless Minions. Do we have an image of that? Or no, we don't have an image. So we have an explanation. That's okay.
We're close. Yeah. So Merciless Minions, some of you who have been around for a very long time with us will probably remember the Foot Soldier pack from the very beginning campaign. And that just gave you more putties to put on the board. You didn't necessarily need them. They weren't required, but if you had the extra Foot Soldier pack, it just made life a little bit easier while you were playing more convenient. But we got lots and lots of requests for these. People really like different types of Foot Soldiers. And so we thought it would be really helpful to give you a whole pack of these new types of minions. So these aren't going to be the same ones were in the Foot one. These are brand new, totally different. But if you've seen the Foot Soldier pack number one, this is kind of along those lines, just even more of them. So more bad guys to fight, more things to put on the board, makes your life a little bit easier. And in this case, more challenging, which is what we know you all want.
That's right. And don't worry, tune into the actual Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid specific panels, and you'll get even more detail. We're just here to whet your appetite. And then we're going to let the guys like really dig into the details. So
also many of these types of themes, we get what are called pack out checks pretty early, and not for these two specifically, I think, because they're a little bit ahead of time, but for some of the other stuff we'll talk about, the product teams. So Dan Bojanowski, and Elisa Teague, our senior producers, they actually get copies of these things really, really early before even Scott and I get to see them. And so when you go and watch their panels that are coming up, you'll get to see some of those things that we don't even have to show you. For example, if you want to check out the board and card games panel, that's today at 4:30 Pacific time. So that'll be right after this one. And Jonathan Yeen is actually going to be in there talking about this stuff too.
That's right. All right, so we're going to shift gears now to the Power Rangers deck building game. But also, I just want to say, don't worry, folks, this isn't going to be all Power Rangers for the next hour. We're going to do Power Rangers, then we're going to do Transformers and G.I. Joe. So if you're hanging around for those, just sit tight. We'll have some things for you very shortly. But Power Rangers deck building game. So again, core game, just recapping very, very quickly, already released, Rangers versus villains like Rita Repulsa. But that's not all.
So you actually get to play as the villain, or you get to play as the Rangers. You get to decide.
Right. You get to decide. But what's next?
Very exciting.
What's next?
So next, we are going to be doing the Zeo Stronger Than Before standalone expansion. So we've also already announced this one, but in case you missed it, this is coming out in October, and this gives us all new powerful Zeo subcrystals, which can be acquired by both the Rangers and the villains. So again, you get to choose which side you want to play on, and it's a team effort. So if you're on the Ranger team, it's cooperative within your side of the table, playing against whoever is on the opposite side of the table. And Zeo will just give you more new challenges, more stuff to play against. And it is compatible, but also standalone. So if you just show up at your retailer store and all you see is the Zeo Stronger Than Before expansion, you can pick that up and start playing right away while you wait for the core game to show up.
Yep. And then there will be promo packs for each of those. I think we have something that we can show people. There we go.
Yeah, so this is the one, this is the one that's for Zeo. So you can see there we've got Serpentina cards. There's actually multiple cards that make up this fantastic monster, and also alternate art life counters. And if you pre-order this from our web store now, then you'll be able to get this free bonus promo pack. If you miss out on that first core game and you didn't get the bonus pack, we still have those available. You can purchase those on our site, and it'll be the same thing for Zeo. So you should obviously just pre-order it now so you get that for free.
All right. But then next year, coming up early next year for the Power Rangers deck building game, we have the Omega Forever expansion. Tell us about this, Sarah. What can you tell us? What do you know?
Well, first, we haven't shown this anywhere at all yet. So this is our very first reveal of this. Again, please go check out the panel right after this. Matt Hyra, who's the designer of all of these deck building games, he's going to be on that panel as well, chatting about this one. And this is the Omega Ranger team. Again, you probably figured that out. And then also the Anointed. So if you want more information about that, dig in a little bit deeper about what this expansion holds for you, then go check out that panel. But I will say this one is not standalone like the Zeo Stronger Than Before expansion is. This is one that is compatible with the core game. So nice thing is it's going to be a little bit cheaper, but you do need to make sure that you get that core game on the table, play it a bunch, really enjoy it, and then add this to it.
Right. That'll be a smaller box. All righty. Okay. So that's Power Rangers deck building game. Now let's move on to the Power Rangers role-playing game. I think there's a lot of people waiting, want some news on what we have coming up for role-playing in general. So the first thing, of course, is the Power Rangers core book. We just released this art today. Fantastic cover art by Dan Mora. In case you're new to Power Rangers, he's awesome. He's done tons of art for Heroes of the Grid and Boom Comics. He's a fan favorite, and we're super thrilled to have him on board to do the role-playing book cover. So that's available now. Next up will be the Glutton for Punishment Adventure NGM screen. So this is your typical GM screen, but it comes with a whole adventure for your GM to run for you right from the beginning. So we didn't want to just have a screen. We wanted to give you something that you could jump right into the action. You don't have to write something. We know that a lot of people playing Power Rangers RPG and maybe some of our others will be new to role-playing games. So we wanted to give you the tools to actually have those experiences right away. If you're inexperienced writing adventures, here's an adventure for you right off the bat, in addition to the adventure that comes in the core rulebook. So between the core rulebook and the GM screen, you have two adventures that you can play right off the bat. Also,
and the adventure in this one is for low-level characters. So even if you're super experienced, we know that you're going to have a brand new character. So you can jump in right from the beginning with either the one in the core book or this one. Great way to get a whole group started.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we have some spoilers too about who some of the villains might be in that adventure. Do we want to tell them? I think we should tell them. Like, it's not that big.
I guess.
It doesn't give away the whole story. It's just kind of a fun, like, something to look forward to. So we have.
Right. You can tell them, I guess.
All right. We have. You'll see Pudgy Pig, Chunky Chicken, and Terror Toad will make appearances in this adventure. So be sure to.
Those are all my favorites. I'm so excited for this one. It's going to be hilarious.
It's nice. All right, and also down in the next slide here, we have some accessories coming up. Tell us about those accessories, Sarah. What do we have coming up for role-playing players?
So I don't know about you, but I love dice, and they need to be really pretty. There's tons of boring old dice all over the place, pretty dice, and I want them to be in my Ranger colors. So we've learned from our amazing current Power Rangers community that they also seem to like dice. So we thought we would give lots of options to our brand new players. All of these are pearlescent dice, which means that, and you probably can't see it in this picture very well, but we promise they're gonna look amazing, and they're not just a flat color, they're kind of shiny and glistening, and they've got different colors going through them, and it's gonna be really nice. Also, the other thing about this picture is that dice bag does not look ridiculously huge and easy to use and really plush and wonderful to touch, but we promise it is. Because Elisa Teague, our senior producer on Role Playing Games, is pretty picky about her dice bags.
I would say
we all know. Go for it.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say picky. I would say she's a RPG accessory snob.
I think that's true,
yeah.
Which benefits all of you listening, because this dice bag is unreasonably nice.
Yeah.
But we also know that if you put dice in a nice dice bag, they will work better for you.
They do. They roll better. The numbers are always better. Yeah, it's a known fact.
It's very important to realize that. So anything else you want to tell us about the RPG in general, about Power Rangers RPG, Scott?
Well, I do want to say that all the stuff that we've shown you so far for the RPG, the plan right now is that will all be available upon release. So when you walk into the store and you need your core book and your GM needs their screen and you get some adventures and you need some dice and stuff, you'll be able to get all that all at once. Plus, one more thing we have planned on release. And this is not for everybody, but this is for a lot of people. So we're going to launch in a deluxe set of the core book for play groups where every Ranger player wants to have a book that corresponds to their Ranger color. This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but it's so important. I mean, if I'm sitting around a table with my whole Ranger team, I don't want to be holding the same book everybody else has. I don't want the same dice all of them have. Yeah. I want my own colors.
Yeah, we learned some lessons from Heroes of the Grid. We saw the way people wanted complete sets of red player dice and black dice and green dice, etc. And they didn't want to use just any color dice, even though it didn't matter for the game. Totally didn't matter. But thematically, it was fun for the Red Ranger to only roll red dice. So we created this set. It's going to be a limited edition, only available on our web store. We're only doing 500 of these sets. And we get it. This isn't for everybody. No one person needs multiple copies of this book. So what we recommend is you go in with this for your play group. Everybody gets their book and has their book for their Ranger color and that sort of thing. We know there's some crazy people out there. I'm one of those crazy people that likes to have these things and they're completist and they're going to put them on their shelves. I get you. I feel you. I sympathize. But in general, this is a nice to have. We get it. It's something really cool and special. Again, international people, don't worry, we're allocating some for your areas. You won't be shut out. But yeah, so all of that we've shown you so far will be available on release. But we do want to show you some other things that will come in just a few months after the initial release as well.
So many spoilers. This is just
so many spoilers. Now we're getting into the stuff that just Sarah's over it. She used to be uncomfortable. This would be the type of stuff where she'd be in the background going like, shut up, Scott. You can't tell them stuff that's coming. We're already telling you the stuff that's coming first. We can't tell them the stuff that's coming second.
We did actually have that conversation yesterday. Yeah. Are you sure, Scott? But we've already shown them so much good stuff.
No, I've been palpatining her for years. I've totally turned her to the dark side. We're good. All right, Sarah, I'm going to even let you tell them what's in the next wave of RPG stuff for Power Rangers that will come after release. You're going to have to deliver the news yourself.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. What is it? Tell us.
Actually, I'm really excited for this next one. So Adventures in Angel Grove Adventure Book. So this is a whole campaign. So what we've shown you before, there's an adventure in the core book. Great, you can learn how to play a little bit and then it's kind of over. There's an adventure that comes with the GM screen. That's a 32-page adventure. It's meaty, there's some good stuff in there, but it still just kind of does its thing pretty quickly. You'll get through it and then it'll be over. This is a campaign. So this actually has 4 pretty meaty different adventures that connect together as a campaign. And this could take you even a couple months to get through this whole thing. So this is a lot more material. You really get to grow your characters. You're going to be expanding their skills and getting to see a little bit more of what each one of them can do, and fighting bigger monsters and really digging into some of those villains, because that's what Power Rangers is all about. So I think this is actually, out of all the things we've announced so far, my thing that I'm most excited about, because I don't want to just sit down at a table with people once. I want it to be an experience, a campaign that we enjoy together for a long time. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. It's really funny. Somebody in chat is saying, go back to the light, Sarah. Don't abandon the light or something. Be the guardian of the light.
Wait until they see the next thing. They'll be sad they said that.
Yeah, exactly. That's no fun. That's no fun.
No,
so yes,
no, these are fun.
so a whole campaign. This will release just a couple, 2 to 3 months after the initial core book. So, play through your adventures, build up your group, and then you'll have this to jump right into. But that's not all. We have 2 more things to tell you about. The next thing is tabletop RPG games are awesome, but miniatures just make them that much more fun. So, whoa, go back. There we go. All right, mini set number 1. So we're going to give you ranger characters, archetypes that you can kind of make your own based on actual canon characters that you can then paint up, do whatever you want to them, and use them in your game. These will be to scale for your typical tabletop RPG, not like Heroes of the Grid, which are kind of like epic proportion. That's a different type of game. These are RPG scaled figures, like 32 millimeter heroic, 1 inch, fit in a 1 inch grid. And this will be mini set number 1 that will give you some minis to start with, so you can build your team and have Rangers on the table.
But these are Rangers from, so we've got Turbo, Zeo, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, original style. But what if I want some bad guys? I mean, there's lots of bad guys in Power Rangers. What do we do about that?
That's right. That's right. So that brings us to the Standees Threat Pack. We're also going to give you Standees for the table. So with lots and lots of bad guys, because here's the one thing about Power Rangers, right? There are so many bad guys. Could possibly make a miniature for every single one of them. Doesn't mean we won't make some miniatures for people that want to use them. And actually, you'll have some information on how that will work. Heroes of the Grid people maybe slightly have a head start when it comes to some villains and tabletop RPG stuff. But Standees Threat Pack are lower price point, more affordable than just doing a bunch of miniatures. So you get nice, really full color Standees that you can use on the table to represent lots and lots of bad guys and give you lots of variety right out of the gate. So RPG players, we've been working hard for you. We didn't hold back. We didn't want to just give you one book and say like, hey, here's a book, good luck, have fun. Like, we gave you a system with full support, lots and lots of good stuff. So that's Power Rangers. I think it's time to move on.
Who here wants to know more about Transformers? Anybody excited about that? Maybe a little bit. Awesome. We have the Transformers deck building game that many of you already know about. This was announced, and we also at the same time announced that we're going to do promo packs for these. And that is true actually for all of our deck building games. When we put out one of these big standalone core sets or standalone expansions, and even some of the little smaller things, we will have promo packs for those. So Transformers, have you gotten to play this yet, Scott? I know there aren't copies around yet. So if the answer is no, I understand.
I haven't been able to play it on an actual real physical tabletop with people yet, only in our digital play testing environment. So
nice.
Yeah, I really want to play it with people because I miss people. People were.
I know, right? Well, what I really like about this one, I'll give you a little insider info since maybe you don't know about this one yet. So what's great about this is that in this first one, you were playing as the Autobots, and you are on Earth seeking out allies, relics, special locations, and other ways to battle with those Decepticons. And what's really unique about this as a deck building game is that you will see a matrix of cards on the table. So a lot of deck building games just have what's called a river of cards. There'll be maybe 6 cards out there. You see what all of them are. You can do whatever you need to do to acquire those, add them to your deck, make your deck better, blah, blah, blah. In this one, face down cards all in a grid, and you as an Autobot are going to go over there, flip up cards. You don't know what they are. They might be some of those good things like allies and relics, or they might be Decepticons. So if you find a Decepticon, then you have to deal with that in some various ways. But that is all information that you guys probably already have because you've already heard about this one. So do you want to tell them about the next one that's coming out?
Yeah, because I have a complaint, Sarah. What if I don't want to play as an Autobot? Because I don't know if you've met me, I kind of like the bad guys sometimes.
None of that is surprising to me at all.
Okay.
So if you do want to play as a Decepticon, we've got you covered.
Okay, what is that?
So our next release, again, this is the first time we've shown anyone this, A Rising Darkness. This also will come with promos, and you get to play as Decepticons. This is a standalone expansion, and you can play this competitively or cooperatively. And I think some people might want to see more about this. So again, make sure to check out that event that's happening right after this one. Just stick around and you'll get to hear about how we're talking about this. Or if you want to see the core game played live, you can do that tomorrow. We have the Brothers Murph, some of our friendly media people, who are going to be playing this live for you at 6:30 Pacific time. So that should be a blast. We all want to see people get their hands on this.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And I love that it's both competitive and cooperative. Like I'm a big fan of that, where we can, you know, either do it all together or do it competitively and beat each other up. So, all right. Oh, there's also something else too. We're launching some new subdomain websites, right, to support these brands.
Yes. So many of you who are in our Power Rangers groups probably already know about our Power Rangers fan or dedicated Power Rangers site. So if you go to our regular site, renegadegames.com, and look in the upper right-hand corner, then you'll see a little Power Rangers logo. Well, we've upgraded as of literally today, and now we also have Transformers, and just a little preview, we also have G.I. Joe up there. And those are going to be dedicated sites where we can post blog information, we'll do news updates. It makes a really easy place where you can find all of the new games, one-stop shop. So go check those out and let us know.
Oh no. Okay, you were lagging there. Maybe I was lagging a little bit. I don't know. But yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Strategy articles, all that sort of stuff. We have some tools too that we're building. So, all right. What do we have next? We have the Transformers RPG. There's the core book. This is the first time, right?
Yes, this is the very first time we're showing it. We know that you probably have tons and tons of questions about all these RPGs. And so make sure to tune in for the role-playing game specific deep dive that happens at 5:30 Pacific time today. So in a couple hours.
That's right. Just around the corner. You know, and of course, this is going to have everything, you know, character creation tools, equipment, vehicles, villain dossiers, all that sort of stuff. Combat and everything that you would expect from an RPG. But that's not all. We don't just have a core book planned. We have more. What more do we have?
Oh my goodness,
Transformers.
So many things.
So many things. Beacon of Hope and GM screen. So once again, a GM screen with a full-fledged, fleshed out adventure, ready to jump right into it. There's also a starter adventure that comes in the core book. So you'll have 2 adventures for your game group to play right off the bat, right from day one. And the GM screen. And right now we're targeting about a March release. for the Transformers system. So that's what's in my show notes. Sarah might be going, well, we hope. And that's true, right?
We do hope.
I mean, at this point, we're at the mercy of the shipping and worldwide logistics gods. There's not much we can do about it, but we're on plan, we're on schedule, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. If shipping in the world would cooperate, everything would be just fine. But yes, so you'll have the GM sprint and an adventure, and that's not all. Of course, we have a dice pack and dice bags and all sorts of cool stuff, just like we did for Power Rangers. We just don't have as much that we can actually show you yet, but you saw the Power Rangers stuff. That stuff's awesome. This is going to be no less amazing. Fantastic dice, snobbery level dice bags and dice. Elisa will spare no expense, and she will not drive a factory crazy enough until they get it just right, just the way she wants it. She will not be denied. She gets her way. So, and then
it's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. I'm sure that they are crying on the other end, but at the end of the day, we all benefit and we get what we want.
It's true.
We will also be doing a deluxe core rulebook. This will not be the crazy, ridiculous set. This will be one single book that will have a special treatment with a really cool foil design and logo for for Transformers rather. So you can only imagine with a cool Autobot symbol, maybe, on the cover, what we might do down the road. But yes, not a ridiculous giant slipcase box set, but super cool nonetheless. This will be a web store exclusive. You can only get it from Renegade. It will be on our site. I think now it's okay if you want to wait and see what it looks for. Don't worry. We'll have images up there and updated for you as soon as we possibly can. All right.
Coming soon, for sure.
Coming soon, and don't worry, that's all we're going to show you right now for Transformers RPG. But if you were watching what we had to say about the Power Rangers RPG, it's not too hard to figure out what we might have in the works and what you might see coming down the road.
We really like to show you pretty pictures, but we had to make some compromises because we knew how much you would want to see at least something.
Right.
So we will be sharing more in our Transformers tabletop gaming Facebook group. So if you haven't joined that one yet, make sure you do that. And again, definitely go check out the RPG panel that starts at 5:30.
Right, RPG panel at 5:30 and Brothers Murph for the deck builder tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific time. All times are Pacific. Oh, okay, I need to catch my breath. That's a lot of stuff.
But we're not done yet. We still have more things.
Still more things.
There we go.
All right.
So the G.I. Joe deck building game, again, just to reiterate, if you order from our web store and do it as a pre-order, you will get a fancy promo pack. So make sure you do that. This is coming out in November, cross our fingers. And this one is another deck building game that is totally unique. We've already talked about the Power Rangers deck building game and the Transformers deck building game. Matt Hyra, the designer for all three, is incredible. He's the most prolific deck building designer on the planet. And he came up with a whole brand new system for G.I. Joe as well.
That's right. And that's an important point too, is that each of these game systems are totally unique, totally standalone. Transformers and G.I. Joe and Power Rangers deck building systems are not compatible. They don't work together. And the reason why that is because we wanted each one to be the best gameplay they could possibly be to represent the play experience that we thought each of those worlds should deliver. What a G.I. Joe game should be isn't necessarily what a Power Rangers or Transformers game should be. So Matt Hyra, like Sarah said, deck building game extraordinaire designer. I think he's designed more deck building games than anybody on the planet at this point, and they're all pretty awesome. So check it out. All right, so that one they know, they've ordered it. What's coming up next? So again, there's Joe's in here. What do we get?
So the next one, I am going to need to lean a little bit on our deck building team. They did tell me just a little bit of information. They said the name is Shadow of the Serpent expansion, but they learned some lessons from me previously and were pretty tight-lipped about what this is. So you're going to have to watch their panel, which is right after this one, and harass them for more information.
Yeah.
But if you know anything about G.I. Joe, you can make some.
Yeah, if you've read some of the storylines and you know some of the stuff that's happened in the Cobra world and things that have happened with Serpentor and stuff like that, you could probably get some ideas of where this is going story-wise. We'll let those guys fill you in. I know I don't want to make Sarah bad and tell you everything and spoil it for her. There's only that's it for sure. All right.
Oh,
so
and this is a little bit farther out. This is probably more like April. So we are giving you info way far before it's even coming out. Yeah, but hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah, this is about 6 months after the core game releases this fall. So 5-6 months or so. Okay, so G.I. Joe deck building game. Be sure to tune into that panel, learn more. But last but not least, well, not really last, but almost last. We're going to talk a little bit at the end about something that's a little further on the horizon, but let's jump into the G.I. Joe RPG. See that book cover? Yeah.
I love this cover. It looks like such an exciting action scene. All these things are happening. Dudes are getting punched in the face. It just looks like so much is going on.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's my Joe team, right? It's like as a kid growing up, like that could have been right out of the first few episodes or the early Marvel comics. Like that was my first introduction to G.I. Joe, was actually the Marvel comics. Like some kid down the street brought over G.I. Joe #1 over to my house, like picked it up, off the newsstand rack that we used to ride our bikes to, and showed it to me. I was like, oh, can I read this and borrow it? And I don't think I ever gave it back to him. I think I kept it.
Oh no, that's terrible. If you're watching, neighbor kid, you need to write to us and let us know that Scott stole your comic book.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have it anymore either. Like I don't know what happened to it over the years. My mom probably threw it away, but yeah, like I liked it so much I stole it, I guess. That's pretty horrible. That's what happens when you're 9 years old. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Or when you're Scott.
Hey. All right. So this core book is coming hopefully in February of next year. So you will get to choose your military origin and your background training and your traits, and then your role within the G.I. Joe organization, right? Because we all know G.I. Joe is kind of a special forces unit that draws on soldiers from all different military backgrounds, not even necessarily the U.S., depending on different stories that we've read over the years and things that we've seen. Maybe you were a football player and now you're on the Joe team. Been there, done that. It could happen. It has happened. So G.I. Joe core book, but then of course we couldn't just do a G.I. Joe core book and leave you hanging. So we have the Emerald Oubulette. This is where my speech, my speech impediment comes through. I have to really struggle over those L's. The Emerald Oubulette and the Adventure and GM screen. We should have a rule within the company that we cannot name words that I cannot pronounce. So.
Oh no, between you and me, we would have to get rid of a lot of words.
I know, it's tough.
That'd be bad news.
It would be bad.
I do just have to mention, out of all of the GM screens, this art just blows me away. This is so good. I didn't write down the artist for this. Do you happen to know off the top of your head? If not, we'll put it in. It's okay. We'll put it in the product description later. I just love it. I think this is great. And on the back side of this, you're going to have tables, all sorts of helpful, just quick facts, things that if you're the GM and you want to reference things really quickly, not only does the screen provide you a little bit of privacy for your roles and for the story that you have laid out in front of you, it also just is a great quick reference for the actual gameplay. So I think that's going to be great. And again, it comes with a new adventure for low-level characters, gets your whole team right into the action, and helps you learn the system and get together and learn about each other.
Yeah, that art is awesome. I'd like it as wallpaper, like, in my house. I haven't told my wife yet, but I'm thinking like one of the rooms in our bedroom, like one whole G.I. Joe wall.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll really appreciate that.
Yeah. No problem. She's a sport. All right. So, of course, I mean, I'm sure everybody could guess what's coming up next. We're not going to leave you with just a screen and 2 adventures, but dice. Dice. Every RPG needs dice.
And this is a special custom dice set, you'll notice, and it has, again, really beautiful type of dice. These are pearlescent. I'm not exactly sure what the technical term for these ones are, but they're not just a flat color, and they are custom dice. They've got that symbol on the highest number on each die. And also, I did want to mention these come with what we call D2s, so 2 special coins, and that's what those circles are in the upper left. And that'll be true for all of the RPGs. So if you see those, that's what those are. And you can find out more about those again on the panel that's coming up at 5:30, but also in the Building of a G.I. Joe RPG character special panel that happens at 5 o'clock tomorrow Pacific time. So 5 p.m. Pacific Saturday.
That's right. Yeah, the D2s are really cool. Like Power Rangers fans, you might see how those come into play tonight in the actual play. Thematically, they kind of have a special place. So
that'll be really interesting.
That would be very interesting. Yeah, these dice look phenomenal. Like I love the blues and everything else. I mean, many dice designers' tears went into making these. Again, Elisa has made sure that they are the best they could be because, you know, the more you know, the better the dice. So
the more you know.
The more you know.
Love it.
All right. Goodness. And of course, following suit with the previous announcements, there will be a deluxe core rulebook for people that like shiny things. So special shiny rulebook for G.I. Joe fans. This will be a web store exclusive. Don't worry, international people. I will keep saying this because I don't want them to ever be sad. We have put stock aside for you. You will be able to get it in all those places. And I believe this goes up for pre-order now. We will have visuals for you soon. So, you know, sit tight if you want to make sure that you love the special shiny thing before you order the special shiny thing. It's okay. Sit tight. We're on your side. So
there will be foil and it will be shiny.
That's right.
We can promise those things.
Shiny foil. Less tears went into making this one. We've got this down. So that's everything that's coming out in the initial release slated for February of next year. But we do want to give you a sneak peek on a couple other things, or at least tell you about a couple other things that will be coming in the next phase a couple months after the initial release. So you'll be able to play the game, have GM screens, all that awesome stuff. And then a couple months later, supplement your game with Operation Cold Iron Adventure Book. Ta-da! So, what do you know about this, Sarah? What can you tell us?
I also know that the RPG team is working very hard on this one, and they are going to reveal more information about this in their own panel. They didn't want to share, which is understandable. But this one, again, will be similar to the Power Rangers book that I explained before, where it's a whole campaign. This will take you a little while to chew through all of this content, and it will help you get from those low-level characters through to a place where you actually get to do some more higher level exciting stuff. So same concept, same idea, but now it's with more G.I. Joe involved, which is always a good thing.
That's awesome. Wait, I sense a pattern here. They're holding back stuff from us. Has the RPG team become the new Sarah in the company? Am I going to have to go behind their backs and rip information from their files and spoil them to the world?
I passed on the baton, and now they get to do it. There's one other thing here before we go on. It looks like
looks like a technical difficulty though. Our slides.
There we go. Okay. There we go.
Okay. So
excellent.
All right. Tell us about these small little men and women on the screen.
Did you have army men and or women to play with when you were a kid? Little green guys, something like that?
I did have those, but I also had G.I. Joes. Like once G.I. Joes actually came out, the little plastic green men were no longer of interest. Now, like we, had things with articulation and accessories, and we could do all sorts of fun stuff with them and put them in boats and sail them across the pool and blow them up with things that we weren't supposed to have, and you know, all that fun stuff. But
well, don't blow these ones up, because these are actually much nicer than those ones that you played with as a kid, and the detail on these is going to be amazing. These are going to be the same size as those ones that we talked about for Power Rangers, so these are going to fit within the scale of the system and be able to move around and grid the way you would expect them to, with their little 1-inch faces. So, and I just pulled 2 of these. I think we have the Duke and Scarlet up here, but we have quite a few miniatures in that first pack. So this is just a small representation. And you get to see some of our cool files. This is actually what we use to decide if we want to make any changes after they've been posed with all the details. So a little behind the scenes for you.
Yeah. And I believe in the actual deep dive panel, Elisa has some physical samples that we were just proofing before molds are cut. So she's going to be able to show you some of those, and you'll see more characters and all sorts of good stuff.
And also, you may have already known about these. These are less of a spoiler than other things, because we are doing a panel where they're, I don't know what this is about.
No.
Nope. Okay, anyway, we're going to be doing a panel where we will have somebody painting one of those G.I. Joe miniatures. So if you really want to see the detail, see what it's going to look like when they're all prettied up, make sure you check out that panel. And I thought I had the time written down, but I don't. So make sure you go to renegadegames.com, and we have our whole panel scheduled for the whole weekend. Game Special Edition tab that's at the top. So if you missed any of these times, you don't remember what we said, go check that out.
Yeah, I believe the one where he's painting G.I. Joe is tomorrow. Tonight he's painting a Power Rangers figure. Jonathan mentioned it in the opening, so that's pretty awesome. So that wraps up everything that we can tell you today for Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, deck building games, Heroes of the Grid, role-playing games, everything that we have in the, well, no, it's actually not everything that we have in the works. Everything that we can tell you as of today that's coming in the near future.
Wait.
But there's one more thing that we didn't mention, right? Just wait. No, so what about that other game, about the other stuff about in the thing?
Some very astute people may have remembered long ago in the olden days when we announced that we were working on G.I. Joe and Transformers and doing some more with Power Rangers. We also mentioned something about some really adorable little ponies.
Yeah, that's right. What do we have in the works for this? Again, I'm gonna make Sarah. What do we have in the works? They're so close. We could have shown you stuff, like probably in a week. In a week, we probably could have shown you things, but just not today.
It's true. I am so excited for My Little Pony. I watched every single episode of these when I was a kid. I watched the movie way more times than it probably deserved, but my poor VCR was about to break because I watched it so many times. Anyway, I love My Little Pony. So I'm super excited. We are doing both a deck building game and an RPG. So all of these cool things that you saw for the deck building games with the promo packs that come with them, you're gonna get those for My Little Ponies. All these extra accessories, the dice, all the fun stuff that you saw for the RPGs, you're gonna get that for My Little Ponies. So all of that's coming out pretty early-ish next year, as long as everything works out. And yeah, that's, oh man, I can't wait. I'm gonna play My Little Ponies all the time.
That's right. So. You sound like the Oprah of My Little Ponies. And you get a deck building game, you get an RPG, and you get a miniature, and you get a this.
I'm just telling you what your teams figured out for this, and I'm just happy to be part of it. But one thing is, I mean, I really want to play all these. I'm really excited, but quarantines are still happening in some places. I can't get my whole group together. So what do I do about that? I've not really played many RPGs. So do you have any advice for me, Scott?
I do have advice for you, Sarah. You should probably go over to this website called Roll20 if you're a role player who wants to play with people that maybe aren't available right there at your kitchen table. I'm playing in a campaign right now in a game where I'm playing with friends that are all over the country. One is actually in like a camper driving around the country, like seeing the country, and then logs in it and on our game nights and plays in our role-playing game. but Roll20.com, we are fully supporting Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe role-playing games up on Roll20. If you haven't played on Roll20, it's a great tool set where you can play remotely on a virtual tabletop with your game system integrated. You roll virtual dice, like all that cool stuff. And the people over at Roll20 will be selling our books digitally and tying them into their platform. So that way you can then use those books that you've purchased digitally and use their tool set to play virtually if you don't have people that you can play with at home. So it's awesome. It's a huge thing for role players like that. You know, as we get older and our friends kind of move around the country and around the world, it's really awesome that we can still get together and get online and sit at a virtual tabletop and play games together still. So don't worry, role players.
I'm going to be playing My Little Pony with my sisters because they live in totally different places, but we all watched My Little Ponies together when we were little kids, and it's going to be so fun to play with them again. I think we're going to have a blast. And for our Power Rangers fans out there, Power Rangers on Roll20 is actually up for pre-order today, right now, ready to go. So head on over to Roll20 and make sure you pre-order that, because then when it comes out, it just automatically shows up in your account. You don't have to remember to do anything later.
Yep.
Very convenient.
Yep. And they have all sorts of tutorials to learn how to use their platform. The cool thing is that to play on Roll20, only one person has to own the content. So your GM really can go up, buy the book and everything else, and then invite players to come play with them. So that's pretty cool.
That's very handy. I like that.
It's very nice. So, all right. So what do we have coming up next? Look at this. We're finishing like right on time, down to the minute. We're good at this.
So good.
Tell us what's coming up next, Sarah. What should people stay tuned for?
Well, right now, in just moments, when we stop blabbering on about all this new stuff, you're going to get deep dives into the board and card games. So if you're wondering what's going on with Heroes of the Grid for Power Rangers, Jonathan Union's going to be there telling you all the deep, intricate details. And if you are super excited about any of the deck builders we talked about, Matt Hyra is also on that panel, and he's going to give you all those details. So definitely show up, stick around, don't go anywhere. And then right after that, we're going to be talking about the role-playing games for all of those with Elisa Teague. So definitely don't want to miss that one. That starts at 5:30 Pacific time. So if you do need to go take a little break, make sure you come right back. But we also still have a ton of stuff going on for the rest of the evening. We also have Power Rangers Day of Destiny actual play, which will give you a really good first look at how that new system, how the new game works with real people sitting at a table showing you how to play. And that starts tonight at 8 o'clock Pacific time. So I can't wait to go and see all those people having fun around a table. I'd be jealous that I can't do that right now too, but very, very soon. And then also, if you're wondering a little bit more about the Essence 20 system, we're going to do a walkthrough of that tomorrow at 2:30 Pacific time, something you might want to check out. If you are one of our G.I. Joe fans, then we're going to be doing a build a character, actually using the system. So look for Knowing Is Half the Battle panel. That starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific. And if you love Transformers, we also have something for you, checking out the Transformers deck building game in action with our friends, the Brothers Murph, tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. So much good stuff this weekend. So awesome. Stick around, keep watching Twitch, and we will see you around. Ask your questions and we'll get to those in future panels.
That's right. So thank you all for coming. Welcome to Renegade Con Special Edition weekend. We're so happy that you're here. And jump into those Facebook groups for Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Power Rangers. Renegade staff hangs out in there a lot. So if you have questions and just want to talk and chat and geek out, we'd love to see you there. And stay tuned because board and card game reveals are coming up next. See you next time. Thanks.
Good to see you. Bye.